All right, Bridget, I've gone through and made a list of how to get to the things we talked about. So I'm going to start with logging in. If you go to NWEA, when you log in, initially I'm going to log into Map Skills. That's where the things we talked about today are. So I'm going to actually log in as you again. And I've saved your password. Okay, so once you log in, if you look over here to the side, you're going to click on Map Skills. Okay, so this is actually called your educator dashboard. So once you get on the educator dashboard, there are three types of skills that you can create or assignments that you can create. Go to assignments right here in the center of the screen. Click on it. And then once it opens up, if you want to create an assignment, you're going to come over here to the Create Assignments box. Now you'll see the three across the center. You can do Skills Locator, Resources, and Mastery Check. Now the order that they suggest you do these is Skills Locator. Again, that's going to help you find the weaknesses in a single strand. The resources are the teaching tools. We looked at some of those today. Sometimes it's a video they can watch or that workbook page that helps them practice, but we'll look at that again in a second. And then the mastery check is just to see how they've done with your instruction and how they've learned whatever you've asked them to learn. So let me go through again. When we go, I'm going to do a skills locator. So we're going to assign a skills locator like we did earlier. So you choose skills locator. Now, remember, you helped me remember this. You have to go up to the top and choose what subject. So I'm going to choose reading. All right, once you choose your subject, you're going to choose your instructional area. Let's just go ahead and choose something different. Let's do literary text. Then you're going to choose, I don't want that to pop up. You're going to choose strand. So I'm going to choose realistic fiction. Once you've got your strand, you're going to choose your starting point. Now, remember, we talked about this too. I keep going over that little thing. RIT score is where I would start. Click RIT score. So when you come down here to your students, now you should see that your students have different, has their student RIT score underneath it. Let me go back up here. I see it's the wrong students. And choose your homeroom. If you remember, that's how you do that up here in the corner. So now it should have your students, your homeroom students down here. So I'm going to look at, let's see, RIT score. Yep, got that. Then what's the next part? Choose the students that you want to do. So if I want the whole class, I'll click this top button here and it'll check everyone. If not, I can check individual students, but I'm going to go ahead and assign it to the whole class. When I do that, it reminds me that not everyone has RIT data. So for those kids, I'm going to just choose rostered grade. Meaning it's going to start with fourth grade stuff. Then if there's a choice, sometimes it lets you choose number of skills, but for reading, it's not going to let you choose that. If you do vocab, I think it does. And language, I think it lets you choose number of skills. Then you're going to give your assignment a name. I'm just going to say practice. And then you're going to change the due date if you want to do that. And then you're going to assign the locator. I'm not going to assign it to your students, but that's where you would assign it. So that's how you assign a skills locator. Again, that's just kind of a little assessment that sees where they are scoring on whatever instructional area and strand that you choose. So now if I wanted to choose, say I've gotten their data back, I can look at their data on the class dashboard. Again, if I choose that, I can fix that and change that by choosing different things. Say I did reading. What did we just do? Literary text, and then realistic fiction, what I just chose. It gives me student data on where they are, and here's the key that shows me some stuff about that. I can also create an assignment straight from this little place, which I didn't realize till just now. But you can create an assignment for these students based on where they are here as well in your class dashboard. Sometimes it may look like this, have these donuts. If you come to a screen that just has a donut, if you click on the donut, it does open it up into this graph where it looks like this. So now, say I got some data back and I wanted to create an assignment and push out some resources. I go back to the Assignments tab. This time I'm going to create an assignment and push out some resources. So when you do that, again, you're going to choose your instructional area. I'm going to stick with what I was just doing. The same strand, realistic fiction, and then 4th grade level. For whatever reason, I think you have to unclick this every time. I don't know why. And then choose what skill you want them to work on. So if I'm doing realistic fiction, maybe I'll do point of view. And then these are going to come up. Now, this was something, I know we saw something like this last time. The instructional practice looked like a workbook page. I did notice that there's some Quizlet on here as well. So that would be a great thing to use. I'll just let my phone ring. It's always something fun. I think that's pretty much it as far as where we got today, other than creating an assignment from Student Profile. I know we looked at that too. One way you can get back to that without logging out and logging back in is this place up here. If I go to Map Reports, it's got Map Skills. If I choose Map Reports, it'll take me back to that Map Growth. I've seen it called Map Growth, and on that one it's called Math Reports. But here is where you find your student profile. It is on the reports page that we're used to going in and looking at. Again, make sure you choose winter 2017-18. That's your most current data. Fill these in your homeroom. And then choose a student, a specific student. So I'm going to choose Xavion again. Click View Student Profile. Now this page has not been working for me too great in the last few minutes, so let's see if it'll work. It's not letting me. There it goes. So of course you want to change to reading to see his reading data. Look for instructional areas. If I go down here and choose literary text, we'll just stick with that. Well, let's go down to meaning and context. Sometimes I was looking at Lillian's earlier, and it gave me a suggested area of focus. Xavion's doesn't have one, so let's see. Let's look at his lowest one. If you click on that, now one thing that I did not put in my notes, I can go back and add. If you look up here in the corner, it has skills to reinforce, skills to develop, skills to introduce. If you're just looking for something he can practice and do, maybe click reinforce. Skills to develop, of course, that's where he's ready to start. But this is where you assign those pieces individually. This is one place you can assign this individually. So here you've got some figurative language. So you could assign that. I'm kind of scared to click it. I'm going to go ahead. It takes me back to the educator dashboard. It doesn't just do it straight from that page. So that's what it's going to assign a mastery check. So it's taking you to that page where you can assign. It's going to tell you exactly what it's going to assign. And so if you wanted to assign that, you would click Assign Mastery, and it'll go straight to just Xavion. So hopefully that answers most of your questions. Like I say, I think we're just supposed to play with it, see what we think about it. I'm excited that the resources don't just have workbook pages. Maybe when the kids are working, we can watch them and see some of the things that it lets them do. All right, let me know if you have other questions.